YouTubers, Monet Everett here, hair and makeup artist. Today I'm going to do a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial for you. I hope that you like it. I am a professional hair and makeup artist, and a lot of times in my videos I err more towards the natural makeup, so this time I decided to beat that face. If you ever want to check out any of my magazine work that's been published or just anything that I do with clients, please feel free to check out my website, moneteverett.com. I hope you like this video. If so, tell your friends, share it, rate, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out my other websites, which are hairandmakeupblog.com, moneteverett.com, and bridesmadeup.com. Makeup Forever is now having their pan stick foundation and a compact that was all 12 shades. I'm using my Delium brush to heavily apply the pan stick foundation all over my eye. I'm using it in place of the concealer because as an artist we always need products with multiple different uses. So this is thick enough and full enough that I can use it like a concealer, or in this case like an eyeshadow primer. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Notice that where I'm going to cut my crease, I'm not applying that as heavy because I want that to be darker anyway. So, you know, why make my job harder? So you see it's much lighter over that area. Lighter in application, I mean. So now I'm smoothing it in with my finger. And the first thing I'm going to do is focus on my brows. Because of the way my face is shaped, I like a really strong brow. So I'm taking an eyebrow pencil, something I picked up from like Sally's, but sometimes I use MAC, sometimes I use Makeup Forever, and filling it in. Now to a deep brown shadow. What is this, Brun? To really fill in that brow. I like a really strong brow. You do not have to wear your brows as strong as mine. It's also going to tone down. Next up is an Inglot pink, and I'm using my Delium Tool eyeshadow brush to really pile it on. Remember, I'm going to be doing a lot of work, so everything's going to tone down later, but I need my eyeshadow really full and layered right now. I'm using the 4 times rule. I'm going to apply everything 4 times to make it bright and stand out. Next up, I'm going to start to cut that crease, and I'm not doing it the way that I've seen a lot of other artists doing it. I just am literally using the pointed brush to trace out my eye socket and create a crease where one would naturally be, you know, if I had one. Routine. Now here is a just blending, going back and forth. Notice that that line is still pretty solid, so I'm going back in with my pointed brush and still applying, because I can always make it a more harsh line or blend it out more later, but I want it to be really apparent. Not very often that I do these type of looks, but you know, your girl does it up every now and again. I have hooded eyes, so this kind of cut crease works very nicely. Now I'm going in with that same dark color. I think it was MAC and Bark, not sure, but I will make sure to list it in the corner, and I'm doing, you know, the good old-fashioned check mark. Since my eyes are hooded, I still like to keep my shadow darker towards the outer corners, which also makes it lighter on the inner corners. And I'm just highlighting my underbrow bone. Now I'm back to blending with some black. I really want my outer corner to be as dark as I can possibly get it. A lot of people like to use tape on the outside corner. You know, I chose not to. Now we're going for a really hot pink. This is also on my Inglot. They have a lot of nice colors. They rival MAC, Makeup Forever. They're one of those type of makeup artist brands. And I'm tracing out the outside corner of my eye again, because with that hot pink I kind of blended it a little. Now I'm cheating and I'm using my Inglot cream liner, and I'm really going to cut my crease, and that's in black. Going to go back with my pointed brush and smooth it out a bit because I don't want it hard and heavy. I'm bringing in that same light pink to highlight the inside corner of my eyes. It'll help me in really changing the entire shape of my eyes. I want my eyes to look like I have a lot more space. Next up, the MAC Silver Pigment. I'm going to put that right on top of the light pink that I have on the inside corner of my eye. It's just enough to catch the light, nothing major, nothing too crazy, but the more you light the inside of your eye, the more you open it up. Now I'm using the MAC Fuchsia pigment, and this will still help to open up my eye because it's going to reflect the light, so it's going to make my outside corner even darker. Cleaning up that spillage, because if you work anything like me, you get spillage. This is the NW30. I thought that brow highlight was too light, so now I'm going back and fixing it. And y'all know how I am about the brow, so this is actually black because I wanted to look a little ombre. My Tweezer Man eyelash curler. Lord, I'm going to use some lashes. You don't see me wear them very often, but I do wear them. And my Avon Long Wear Eye Writer. I use this in damn near every tutorial. This is my cannot leave without. Oh, and that was the HD Elixir. My skin's gotten really dry. I've been using Proactive and all types of other stuff, so that HD Elixir really came in handy. Back to the pan stick. I'm going to use a color that is way lighter than I normally would. But I noticed that a lot of times when I do videos, it doesn't show up with as much contrast as I like. So, you know, tonight I'm beating that face. I'm going out, baby. And I want to look good. I'm highlighting around my brows. As I've said 58 times, brows frame your face. And I want a really, really strong frame with my face. I can carry it. And I like my upper lip to be highlighted a bit. This is my actual foundation color is the HD 177. Unlike most African Americans, I have a lot of olive in my skin, so it's hard for me to find a color that really works, and I am in love with this Makeup Forever HD. And I'm using a MAC brush to really get in there and blend everything. Notice that the Pan Cream Foundation by Makeup Forever, which I started with, is a lot thicker than the Makeup Forever HD. The Makeup Forever HD is kind of light. So I'll be blending for a while. Got to make sure it looks good. I want it to stand out as a highlight, but I don't want to look like a drag queen. And you know, when you wear heavy makeup, it's easy to overdo it. This is a Cinema Secrets, and I'm going to use one of their really dark creams to contour. I'm going to contour my cheekbones and the sides of my nose. I love the shape of my nose, but I really focus on contouring my eyes on the inside of the eye. And you know, I don't want to just stop it just anywhere, so I keep that contour going. I'm blending out. I did under my cheeks and I did my hairline. I put a little too much on the nose, so I'm just going to use that same Face Secret sponge. If you have Sally's, those are awesome. You can get like 80 for $4. And I use them for everything from applying moisturizer to contouring and highlighting to applying foundation. I like to use things that I can use multiple different ways. Since I had shadowed too much, I had to go back and add a little bit of highlight to my nose. I'm going back in with my Face Secrets sponge to make sure everything is blended really nicely. Here's a cream blush, and I'm going to just use my fingertips to blend it out, and it's going to go right there with my highlight right above my shadow. This will be great, so if I have a long day, it's going to sit nicely underneath the blush. Favorite brush ever, Delium Tools. This allows me to apply my powder the correct way, to press it on my face rather than to wipe it off. Most of the brushes that you use for powder, you use the wrong way, and it's swiping off the makeup rather than setting it. That was a Makeup Forever eyeshadow. I mixed that with the MAC NW30 as my highlight because the NW30 is cool, but it's a little ash. And I mix it with that nice, I think it was like a peachy, I'll have it listed. And here's my shadow color. So I am just reinforcing everything that I've done in cream with powder. So I'm shadowing underneath the cheeks and everything. Here's a Delium Tools blending brush, and I am using that for my shadow around the eyes. I really like to change the eye shape, so that's where my focus is. Notice I barely brought it down the brush. Oh, and the Caviar Laura Mercier stick. This is so cool. Came out in 2012, but I'm using it on my waterline in silver. And underneath my waterline, I'm using, I think that's Embark. I don't know. I'll write it underneath by MAC. Oh, and my white, I'm going to go in and add just a dot of that. And this is an NYX lip pencil. I'm using that to outline my lips. And I am sticking with that lip liner, but using quite a few different lip glosses. Right there was just the brown. The other pictures are different colors. What do you think? You like? You like? I like. I hope you enjoyed the video. As you noticed throughout the video, I had my natural hair just pulled back. This, of course, is a wig, and I hope that you check out that video and like it. I did a tutorial on that. Monet Everett, hairandmakeupblog.com, moneteverett.com, and bridesmakeup.com.